not 100% because I was afraid. I would rather just get it done. You know what I'm saying? Get it done. And still, when's the last time that you were afraid of I don't know, I haven't been afraid of a third grader since I was like in the second grade, man. So that's been a long time. And I haven't been afraid of a third grade female since I was in the third grade and I had a first girlfriend. What's up? So yeah, man, we got a 10-year-old, my 10-year-old neighbor, man, scary. I'm telling you, she's gangsta, straight up. And talking about neighbors a little bit, getting to know your neighbors and stuff. I was talking to my neighbor across the way. I sit over there, have a cup of coffee every once in a while. He's like, "Hey man, you know that house down there around the corner over yonder, whatever?" I was like, "Yeah, I knew the house because it's the gentleman that we're buying our property from. He rents this place out to this lady." I went down there one day to pick up tile, and this old lady, I guess she's like in her 50s, maybe 60s, late 50s, early 60s. And she was out there like, she was getting the house ready to move into and stuff like that. So it kind of surprised me. My neighbor was like, "Hey man, I drove by that house and I couldn't believe it." I said, "What?" He said, "A nice as big as pair of titties there in the damn doorway, just staring at me, just topless." And I said, "You gotta be kidding me, man." He was like, "Yeah." I had to slow my truck down and stop. I looked, and I was like, I know she knew that I was looking, and she just stood there like, I'm surprised she didn't wave. I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's cool. I didn't really think about it." And he was like, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, that's fucking 60-year-old woman standing there topless because she doesn't have an AC unit or some shit. And I'm like, because my neighbor, he's a little older. He's probably 74, something like that. Anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, whatever. It might have been a nice pair of titties for you to look at, but I'm glad that, and he was like, "No," he's he's like, "I don't know who that was, but it wasn't the lady that lives there. It was some young, you're some young." I was like, "Oh, okay. I get it. And maybe you actually did see a nice big pair of titties. And I have big titties in the doorways. That's a blessing, man. That shouldn't be outlawed. That should be encouraged. If you have big titties, go to your doorway and just stand there topless for a little while. Your neighbors will love it. It depends on the neighbor, okay? You hear me? I'm saying, okay, look, you're welcome to come down to the studio, and we'll be the judge. We'll let you know if people will enjoy it or not. Flip and I will definitely be the judge. We'll do the big titty contest live, uncut and unrated at Robcast. Bam. There you go. If you'd like to enroll, just send an email to radiorobcast@gmail.com and put big titties in the doorways. I'm talking about big titties in the doorways. Talking about getting into doorways. I went to get into this little store. We got a little storage building. It was a deer blind, but I just have shelves and stuff in it now. Okay, a deer blind with shelves and stuff in it. And, okay, no, we're done with some audio nuggets for today, guys. So let me just turn a couple of things off. Listen to the lady tell us goodbye.
Goodbye.
Alright, goodbye. I was like, I needed to get this Echo leaf blower out of this little storage. And I look in there, and I look on, it's like a little fire cabinet for paint. And on that fire cabinet, I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little tree frogs. I was like, man, I should probably look out in here for snakes. So I'm looking around in there for snakes. And I grab the leaf blower, and I pick it up. And whenever I get out of the doorway, out into the clearing, right, out in the open, I go to set it down, and there's a fucking snake hanging off of it from its tail. I was like, motherfucker. I was just thinking, there's probably some good snake food, all these little tree frogs hanging up in this motherfucker. There's a damn snake hanging off the leaf blower. We talked about big titties in the doorways. Have a revolver story? Are any of you all into firearms, into guns? I believe in the First Amendment. First Amendment? Second Amendment? First Amendment? Second Amendment. I believe in free speech. The Second Amendment. I think if you're not a convicted felon, that it's probably world's a better place if you're not some crazy bastard. If you're armed, it's just I don't know. I happen to feel better with it than without it. Not lately. Sometimes I feel like I have the need that I should have a firearm nearby, and sometimes not. It just depends on how the stars are lining up. However, I do have a revolver story to tell you all before we let you go. And we will be back soon. And thank you very much for tuning in. We much appreciate it. Follow the show. Download the Spreaker Podcast app. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. We are also on Instagram. Robcast Radio. The revolver story. I had some little chopper that I'd taken in on trade and put on Craigslist, and this guy on Craigslist was a gun dealer that did nothing but gun shows. And he had this old revolver. None of his friends knew anything about it. He couldn't get any information on it. Yada, yada, yada. It was super old. So I'm like, I know my neighbor across the street has a badass gun collection. And he would be the guy that would be interested in this. So I didn't make a deal on that gun. I made a deal on a tech, on a little machine gun. Super cool. A little Intratec Scorpion. I traded him the Intratec Scorpion for this motorcycle. And he also had like a 1940-something Cushman 3-wheel and a little trailer that he wanted. And I said, will you come back and I'll fill that trailer up. You bring me that little revolver. So about a week later, this guy shows back up, and he gets, he's happy with his bike. I'm happy with my Intratec Scorpion that I've still never shot. I probably need to take it out to the range and shoot it, but it's a brand new gun in the case, and it's cool. It's a mean-ass looking gun. However, it's as valuable as the motorcycle. It takes up way less space. So we're happy. He comes back. He hooks onto the trailer. I put the Cushman on it. I gave him also two little mopeds. They were called Yamahoppers. 2 Yamahoppers that probably will never run again. And I ended up with this revolver. Now, I took this revolver straight across. Actually, I took the revolver to a couple of local dealers and asked them about it. And one guy got into my shit for wasting his time. I don't deal with this is a British gun. I don't deal with any of that shit. He hands it back to me, went back to his office, and the other place was like, no, this and that and whatever. And then the other place was like, yeah, we couldn't even do anything with this, and we can't put a value on it, and blah blah blah. So it ends up I think I traded my neighbor for something useful, an H&R. I got the H&R 949 9-shot revolver from him, and I took it straight to the gunsmith and had it re-blued and the grip and the handle re-stained and re-varnished. Beautiful, sweet shooting little gun, 9-shot H&R 949. I think the only one nicer than that the H&R makes is the 999. But it's all nickel plated and pearl handle and all that. And this is a gun that it's just, an extra backup to have. It's a good squirrel gun. It's a good, anyway, ended up with a nice revolver. He ended up with something put in his collection. Well, he comes out of his house the other day and he had this old ass double barrel shotgun. I think it was a 28 gauge. So he sent it to this gun dealer. It's a new friend of his daughter, and he said, man, he gave me a printout on that old shotgun that was 2 pages long. Told me exactly what year it was from and this and that and whatever. And it's from 1890, from somewhere around 1890. Anyway, it was a cool story. And then, like a few days later, my neighbor was like, "Hey, you remember that old revolver?" And I said, "Oh, the old British Bulldog or whatever it was that I traded that old whatever for." And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." He said, "I'm not 100% sure what the value said. No, it's definitely worth at least $8,000 to $10,000." And I was like, "Dude, that's fucking cool. I feel like we like hit the lottery on that one." And I'm glad it ended up going to someone close by. I'm glad that the people at the gun dealer didn't say, "Hey, I'll give you $1,000 for it that day," because I would have taken it. You know what I mean? We gotta eat. But again, there's always enough room around the trough for everyone. With that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, time. Yes, time. We will be back live, uncut, and unrated. I'm not so sure if we'll bring Radio AM back tomorrow or Tuesday, but it will be back soon. Thank all of you little maniacs for tuning in. And let me make sure we don't have any other big brain busters out here. Oh, Chong is alive and well. Cheech and Chong were in Freeport, Texas last night, rocking and rolling, doing the Cheech and Chong reunion. And if you happen to like Tommy Chong, he has Cannabis Radio. That's right here at Spreaker Podcast, the best podcast network on planet Earth. So look, if no one else believes in you guys, the zombie believes in you. Hey, no one else is going to paint a clear vision of your future but you. And if you're looking for God, you're looking for that divinity, that divine spirit, you go look in the mirror because it's inside you. And the best thing you can do for this whole motherfucking world is to make the most out of yourself. And with that, we're going to call it a show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Zombie, and I'm out of here for the night, bitches. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, little maniacs across the world, thank you once again for tuning in. Robcast Radio, Robcast number 37 is in the books, and we are out here for the night. I'm Zombie. Thank you very much for tuning in. Love you all, and peace.